Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmadgurubhyo Namaha श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः श्री मेधा दक्षिणामूर्ति स्वामिने नमः ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय कृष्णाय क्लिष्टकारिणे नमो वेदान्तवेद्याय गुरवे बुद्धिसाक्षिणे कृष्णद्वैपायनं व्यासं सर्वलोकहिते रतं वेदाब्जभास्करं वन्दे समाधिनिलयं मुनिं सहस्रमूर्ते पुरुषोत्तमस्य सहस्रनेत्राननपादबाहोः सहस्रनाम्नां स्तवनं प्रशस्तं निरुच्यते जन्मजरादिशान्त्यै. Namaste once again to all of you. At the outset, let me thank all of you for whomsoever has given the feedback for the issue that I had raised in the last class, after the last class, which I had sent a message. So thank you all for having those who have provided the feedback. And it's as usual in any election, it happens. Mixed feedback is there. There are some people who want the present, detailed Vyakhyanam based on the Bhashya to continue. Understandable, because some of them happens to be my Sanskrit students also. So they are more interested in learning Sanskrit through Bhashya, which is a very right approach, very, very productive approach. You can learn a lot of Sanskrit through Bhashya. That is one group. Of course, the second group, which is slightly more in number than the first one, prefer the second option. That is, explain the meanings of the words, having the Bhashyam as the base, but don't go detailed into the Bhashyam. This is the second group. The third group has left it to me. Whatever you decide as an Acharya, you take a decision. Safest, it is like that nota, none of the above, which happens in elections. Anyhow, now each option, especially the two options I give, both have got its benefits and its downsides. The benefit of the first option is that if you study Vishnu Sahasranamam, but for that matter, any Vedantic Grantha, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita with Bhashyam, it's a very rare opportunity. If you search the entire internet, you go to any lecture, hardly any Acharya will be teaching with Bhashyam. Even though they may be explaining with the Moolam, with the explanation borrowed from here and there from Bhashyam, they will not go detailed into the Bhashyam. So I thought that it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This opportunity is is availed of only by people who go to the Gurukulam and study, because in the Gurukulam all teaching is based on Bhashyam. So like me, I spent 3.5 hours in Dayanand Saraswati Swami's Gurukulam. I have learned everything, based on the Bhashyam, because Bhashyam makes everything very clear. The idea here is not entertainment, Vishnu Sahasranamam. That's, I don't have anything else to do. Let me go attend this class. That is not the idea with which I started the class. I want people to genuinely benefit, understand what our scriptures are saying, and try to progress their life in the spiritual path. That is the aim of starting these classes. It is not that I have nothing else to do, so I am doing these classes. It is not that. I just learned so much that a part of it I want to share with some people who are interested. So this is the benefit of Bhashya. But the downside of Bhashya means it could be very lengthy process. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, Bhashyam daily classes we learned for 3.5 years. Every day class, but it took 3.5 years for Bhagavad Gita, Shankara Bhashyam to be completed. Right? So this is one side of it. The second one is little faster, which is I just explain the meaning, but then take the meanings from Bhashya. Where I cannot otherwise explain the meaning of a single word in Vishnu Sahasranamam, except for example, for this thing like cha, na, and all that, which is from Sanskrit. I can say cha means and. That's all. What the meaning implicate, the implied meaning of the words used in Vishnu Sahasranamam, every nama of the Bhagavan, Parameshwara, I am no authority to interpret them. I have to depend upon Adi Shankara's interpretation only. So, even though I may not actually repeat the Bhashya as such, but when I explain the meaning, I will have to deal with all the meanings that he gives. For example, in the next sloka, we are going to see the word, it starts with Brahmanyam. The word Brahmanyam, Adi Shankara gives 4 different meanings for the word Brahmanyam. Each meaning is relevant in the context in which it appears in the sloka. Now, which meaning should I take? I will have to explain all the 4 meanings to all of you. Which means I have to explain the Bhashya. So, by adopting the second method, how much time we are going to save is something that we will have to experience only when we actually do it. But some time will be saved, no doubt. And not only that, for some slokas, Adi Shankara is quoting as pramanam, as support from various Puranas and Upanishads and all that. In fact, 1 or 2 slokas, he has quoted more than 40 slokas and mantras in order to explain why he is taking that particular interpretation for a word. Now, what we can do is we need not go through all the 40 slokas. Even though if we do, we will get lot of knowledge about what Puranas say, what Bhagavad Gita, other Smriti, Ganta, Manusmriti and all say, or for that matter, what Upanishads say and all that. But we can say, okay, we will keep it for some other day. We will select 1 or 2 of them and then understand the meaning, why Shankara is taking this meaning. So this also could save us some amount of time. So I propose to take this route, which is trying to not read the Bhashyam fully, right? Just straight away read the sloka, go into the meanings, but the meanings will be based on what Adi Shankara has explained. So this we can do. And for those who are interested in more detail about the Bhashya, what I am planning to do is, I have, with the help of a friend of mine, very great friend, very good friend, very resourceful friend, Mr. Raghu, who is my Sanskrit student, he has somehow dug out from the internet a soft copy of this Bhashyam which I am following. The Shankara Bhashyam, Gita Press, Gorakhpur's edition. So I will be circulating that to all of you. What I would recommend is that as we see the class, those who are interested in following the Bhashyam, they can keep the Bhashyam book in front of them, take a printout and keep it, and follow that. And if there is something more that any of you want to learn, what you can do is, after the class, you can ask me and either I will be able to explain it to you, or you can actually write to me and I will be giving you the explanation for that particular portion which I might have missed in explaining the class. So it's a sort of a mixture kind of an approach I'm going to take, whereby we will see how much we can reduce the time which is being taken in going into detail into the Bhashya. But I can't avoid the interpretation and also supporting that interpretation from some of the examples which I may come up with, or I have got it from Swami Omkarananda's talks, or Puja Swami Dayanand Saraswati's talks on this. Some good examples they quote, so I may actually take those examples and share it with you. So this is the approach I am planning to start. Let us see how we progress. Okay. So with that sort of preliminary clarification about the approach, let us continue from where we left off in the last class. So in the last class, I was explaining to you as Adi Shankara has used the word what are the obstacles, the three types of obstacles which we face in our life, and which are which are also called tapatraya in some scriptures rather, and these are adhyatmikam, adi bhautikam, and adi daivikam obstacles. So these are adhyatmikam, what the obstacles which are generated by our own self. These are adhyatmika obstacles for anything in life, not necessarily only spiritual progress, but for spiritual progress this becomes more relevant, because spiritual journey is a very tough journey. Unlike any other pursuit in our life, spiritual pursuit is a very tough pursuit. It requires a tremendous amount of mental capacity and physical capacity to continue in this journey. Right? So these obstacles actually, when they act in a very pronounced manner, these obstacles. Right? So this adhyatmika, as I said, it's all the obstacles which is generated either because of ill health or some circumstances surrounding us and all that on a personal basis. These could be obstacles for progress in the spiritual path. Sarva dukkha digo bhavet. What are those dukkha's we are seeing? Okay, meaning of those dukkha's, three types of dukkha's. Then the next one is adi bhautika, and I was explaining to you this is from all our surroundings, including people who are our surroundings, our neighbors and all adi bhautikam dukkha's they can use. So this is the second type of dukkha's. As I said, if we want to live happily, there will be four people looking to spoil that happiness for us, right? And I was giving you the example of this Vishnu Sahasranamam class itself, that people may come and say, why you are wasting your time on this? Let us go see a movie. There is a beautiful Rihanna concert happening somewhere. Let us go and listen to that concert. All these things, adi bhautika obstacles will come. And our mind being what it is, we are easily driven towards all these, experiential pleasures rather than having patience to get that eternal pleasure, eternal joy of moksha. That happens. This is adi bhautika. Then the third is adi daivikam. Adi daivikam means the obstacles which are created by all the natural forces like tsunami, earthquake. All these are obstacles created by the natural forces. On the one hand, we worship the natural forces as devatas. But those very same devatas can create obstacles for us in our spiritual pursuit. And in places in Shastra, it is said that the devatas create these obstacles mainly at the individual level because they are jealous of the people, human beings who are doing the spiritual journey, trying to attain moksha. Because the devatas themselves have not been able to attain moksha. Because moksha can be attained only in the human form. If the devatas had obtained moksha in the human form, they won't be devatas at all. They have become devatas because they have not been able to get moksha, so they got promoted to devatas because a lot of punyam the human beings earned. So the devatas become jealous and they create obstacles for people who follow the spiritual path. So this is how we have to understand this, this sarva dukkha digo bhavet. So a person who persists in the spiritual path, he will cross all these obstacles. Through what? Through the anugraha of Ishvara. That if you are sincere, if you are serious, and if you are prepared to put in all the hard work that is required for this, Ishvara's anugraha will be there, and then that Ishvara will remove all these obstacles in the progress of your spiritual path. This is how we have to understand Sarva Dukkadito Bhave. Okay. So next sloka, Adi Shankara says, once again, singing the glories of that Purushottama, Bhishma further highlights or defines the praiseworthy attributes, the glories of Ishvara. That's the next sloka. Okay. We will read the sloka. Brahmanyam sarvadharmajnam lokanam kirtivardhanam lokanatam mahadbhutam sarvabhuta bhavodbhavam. So this is the sloka. So what this sloka basically is implying is that there is no end to the glory of Ishvara. And this sloka is in reply to the third question of Yudhishthira, which we have been seeing. All the four slokas, we have been seeing this past two slokas and this one. All are replying to the third question, comes to one taha. That was the question. Whose glories are to be sung? And 10th sloka onwards, Jagat Prabhum Deva Devam Anantam Purushottamam onwards, Bhishmacharya is giving all these slokas that we have seen. 4 slokas he has given, right? So what it says is, the emphasis here in these slokas is that all the glories that we see, that we experience, all glories belong to Ishvara only. If we see any glory in any individual, that is Ishvara's glory manifesting through that individual. That individual is only nimitta for the manifestation of that glory. We must understand this. So the glory does not belong to the individual. If it is Lata Mangeshkar or M.S. Subbalakshmi who are singing gloriously, it is not their glory, but Ishvara's glory manifesting through them. If there is a Sachin Tendulkar who has become, god of cricket or whatever it is Ishvara's glory manifesting through Sachin Tendulkar. Like that, whoever we take, whomsoever, even the smallest of the glory, we may see some glory in our own children, in our relations and all that. We must understand all glories belong to Ishvara and Ishvara alone. No human being has got any glory. If at all anybody has glory, it is that Ishvara's glory which is manifesting through this human being. If we understand it, there will be 2 things which you can avoid. First thing is jealousy we can avoid. We won't be jealous of anybody who is actually having some special skills or special glories, singing very well. Now many people have this, somebody sings very well, they will feel, oh, see, this fellow is singing so well, I am not able to sing like that. Instead of appreciating what is that other person is doing, there is a feeling of jealousy comes in. This is one benefit, that if you understand everything belongs to Ishvara, and this fellow is only Ishvara's nimitta sitting there, so the jealousy factor is going to avoid. The other thing is, a person who is having this glory or through whom this glory is being manifested, he will not have pride. He will not become a proud, I can do this, I can do that, I can sing like this, I can sing like that. If he understands that this is all Ishvara's glory, he will go more and more to Ishvara. He will pray more and more to Ishvara and thank Ishvara for having selected him as the medium for manifestation of Ishvara's glory, and the pride will be not there. So the people who are actually, through whom these glories are exhibited, they will not have pride, and other people who see such people will not have jealousy also. So that is why we have to understand that all the glories that we see, and this Bhagavan Krishna deals with in very detail in Bhagavad Gita. He in fact points out to each of glory, each vibhutis, and see that amongst all these things, this is myself, this is me. indirectly saying that every glory is me only. It is my glory only. Right? Yadyat vibhuti mat sattvam srimat urjidameva cha tattadeva vagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam mama teja amsha sambhavam. He says, just a fraction of my glory. Teja here means glory. So Bhagavan Krishna said, whatever glories you are seeing in this world, he says, among the Parvatas, mountains, I am Himalaya. So many things he goes on explaining that. And he says, all these glories that you are seeing, Arjuna, are only a fraction of my original glory. That is how glorious I am. And there Krishna is talking like what? He is not talking like a friend of Arjuna. He is not talking like Saguna Brahman. You can call it Saguna Brahman. But basically he is talking, yes, Ishvara, Saguna Brahman. Ishvara with Maya. So all these Maya, all these glories belong to Ishvara. That we have to understand. And that is what Bhishmacharya is trying to explain in all these four slokas. Right? So, in this sloka, the word Brahmanyam, it starts with. Now, Adi Shankara gives four meanings for this word Brahman. Right? It has, of course, more meanings can be given, but Adi Shankara has taken four meanings, which are relevant. And he says, Brahmane srashtre hitam, one meaning. Brahmane brahmanaya hitam. Brahmane tapase hitam. And Brahmane shruyate is hitam. Four meanings it takes. Right? We will see the meaning of each one. Brahmane srashte hitam. Srashte refers to Brahmaji, the creator. The four-headed Brahmaji. Srashte, Srishtikarta, creator, who has created this world, who was given the, delegated the power and authority to create the world by Ishvara. Original Jagat Karanam is Ishvara. But Ishvara did not do it himself. He told Brahma, he appointed Brahmaji, you go ahead and do it. So that is Srashtre, mean Brahmaji. So Brahmanyam, one meaning is that this Brahmaji has the blessings of Ishvara, because of which he created this world. Ishvara is the one who has even, blessed this Brahmaji. And what is there? The entire creation of the world itself is creation or is the glory of Ishvara. How intelligently the entire Prapancha cosmos has been put together perfectly, that it is the most functional, system which is there. That itself is the glory of Ishvara, we have to see. And that glory is what? That glory, if who is the creator, we will say Brahmaji. The Brahmaji is not, the glory belongs to Ishvara, which has been expressed through Brahmaji. So Srashtre, this creation itself is the first glory which is expressed through Brahmaji. So this is the first understanding of the word Brahmanya. Second meaning, he says, Brahmane Brahmanaya Hitam. Vedas are called, another name was for Vedas is Brahma. That's why when they do the Upanayana ceremony, it is called Brahmopadesham. Brahmopadesham means Upadesha of Vedas. Brahma Upadesham. So Brahma means Vedas. Okay. And Brahmanas are those who have predominantly Sattva Guna, follow a Vedic lifestyle, do all the enjoined rituals, the rituals enjoined by the Vedas, and live a life of dharma for the welfare of the society. This person who fits into this definition is actually a Brahmana. We must understand, because these words in today's world, these words like Brahmana and also loosely used. In fact, if you actually apply this definition to each and every person who calls himself Brahmana, you will know who is a real Brahmana and who is just a fake Brahmana. In fact, 99.9% who call themselves Brahmana are fake Brahmanas. They don't have any of the qualities of the Brahmanas. So, who is a Brahmana? This is a Brahmana. He has to follow all these lifestyle and the rituals is to perform, and his life should be dedicated to the welfare of the society. That's the most important thing. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. That is how his prayer is always a Brahmana's prayer, right? So here the word Brahmanaya, when Adi Shankara uses, that refers to such people, right? So Paramatma is a source of blessing to the Brahmanas for their protection and welfare, right? Now there will be people, politically minded people, why Paramatma should only bless Brahmanas, why not Kshatriyas, Shudras, other people? That two explanations can be given. First is that here the word Brahmana is just a upalakshanam for all the other varnas. Kshatriya, Shudra. Upalakshanam means it's just, normally we won't say everything, we'll say Brahmana, etc. like that, right? So we can take it as a upalakshanam. Second thing is, in the Shastras, the responsibility for guiding all the other varnas has been given to the Brahmanas. That is why in the king's courts and all that, the chief minister always used to be a person who is a Guna Brahmana. His responsibility is to guide the king, guide the nation in the right path, and the idea was welfare of everybody. Sarvaloka Hitaya, the king has to function, so he needs an advisor, and this Brahmana must be advisor. So Ishvara, by protecting the Brahmana, Hitam means who does things in favor of him. By protecting the Brahmana, he is actually indirectly protecting all the other Varnas also. So that is how Brahmanaya Hitam, the word he takes, right? And if Ishvara protects the Brahmanas will take the responsibility to protect all others in the society. And Brahmanas not only to society in the sense of human beings, but everything in the society. All living beings, including every object, non-living being also. It is the responsibility of the Brahmana to protect them. Right? He truly practices paropakara, a Brahmana, a true Brahmana. And that's why whenever he is seeing Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhaved, when he is making this prayer to Ishvara, he means it. Let everybody be happy, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya, let everybody be without any affliction, without any disease. Sincere prayer. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, let me see everybody to be prosperous, to be, cherishing their life. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, let nobody be unhappy. This is the prayer, and this prayer, sincerely uttered by a Brahmana, will bring in these effects in the world. And that's why Brahmanas, the Brahmins are enjoying to perform rituals for the welfare of the world. Real rituals, not kind of rituals we see these days. Okay. And most importantly, we must understand, just being born in a Brahmin family does not make one a Brahmin according to the Shastras. Because in the Shastras, each Varna is defined based upon certain characteristics. The guna, the nature of a person, is one of that. Karma, the work or the occupation of a person. And the third one is jati, birth of a person. And jati is not a recognized mode of varna classification in the Shastra. And that is why even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashah. He says these four varnas have been created by me, maya srishtam, based on what? Guna and karma. He doesn't use the word jati at all. So being born in a family or Brahmin parents, one cannot claim to be a Brahmin, which is what 90% of us we are doing today. Because Shastra says everybody is born a Shudra. Janmana jayate Shudra, says Shastra. Everyone is born as a Shudra only. And through karma, through samskaras and all that being performed, one becomes either a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or a Brahmin. So, even the Upanayanam samskara which is done, many people misinterpret that that is a Brahmin related samskara. No. Upanayanam samskara, anybody can perform. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, everybody can perform Upanayana samskara. It doesn't make one a Brahmin. But over a period of time, what happens is, majority of the Brahmins are still doing the samskara. Brahmins mean Jati Brahmins are doing the samskara. But that samskara also is being done without any more as a social gathering business. Nothing, no seriousness, no Gurukula Vasam, nothing. Just like that, like, one of the birthday parties, they do this samskara. If they have got, good economic means to do that. This is what happens. How many boys after Upanayanam are actually even one time Sandhya Vandanam after that? You just ask yourself. All this is that the whole Kali Yuga is all show business. Only very few boys who actually have the samskara of Upanayanam. After that, they go to the Gurukula, minuscule percentage, and then learn the Vedas and all, which is what a Brahmin is supposed to do. But that's all we can only theoretically talk about it, right? So, this Guna Karma Vibhakasha, what are the three gunas? Krishna talks about Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. So the Brahmins should have a predominantly Sattva Guna. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas predominantly Rajo Guna. And this Shudras, those who are predominantly Tamo Guna are the Shudras. So that is how even a person who is born in a family of Brahmin parents, who also may be same situation, right? Not following any rituals, nothing. Veda, or they may not even know the spelling of Veda. So they have a son. They all call themselves Brahmin just because they have got this Upanayana. Call themselves Brahmin. So they are supposed to develop this Sattva Guna. Because everybody is born with Tamo Guna, full predominant Tamo Guna. From Tamo Guna, one needs to develop Rajo Guna. Once having developed Rajo Guna, one needs to develop Sattva Guna. Throughout your life, this is not a 3-year course or a 1-year course. Throughout your life, your aim should be to develop Sattva Guna. That is a Brahmin, Guna Brahmana. Similarly, Shastras define the karma of a Brahmana. What all occupation Brahmin should do. In fact, a Brahmana during Brahmacharyam has to go to Gurukula and then study all the Vedas, everything. Then in the next stage, his job, Brahmana's job, his occupation is only Veda Adhyayanam, whatever he has learned, he has to practice that. Then teaching Vedas to others, another part of his job. Giving charity, receiving charity. Dhanam, giving and taking. That is another, karma of a Brahmin. Then, of course, the Shastra say this is at the Grihastha stage, then Vanaprastha stage, what he should do, Sannyasa stage, we don't go into this. But what I want to emphasize here is a Brahmin means that. Brahmanyam, when he says here, Adi Shankara is pointing out Brahmanaya Hitam, means this Brahmana he is referring to, not this Janoidhari Brahmanas. Janoidhari Brahmanas put one Janoi and go to some temples before the elections and call themselves Brahmanas. Okay, not those kind of Janoidhari Brahmanas. So this is what we have to understand, right? And then we also understand the nature, what are the qualities that a Brahmin should possess. That also we have got guidance from Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Beautifully, he actually, I think 13th chapter, 14th chapter, 18th chapter, last chapter, he defines the gunas or the attributes, characteristics of a Brahmin, a Shudra, Kshatriya and a Shudra. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, all four of them. But here we are, what is relevant is only a Brahmin. What he says, Shamo dapastapat shaucham shantirarjavamevacha jnanam vijnanamasthekyam brahma karma swabhavajam. This is the nature, swabhavajam, swabhava of a brahma karma, of a Brahmin, real Brahmin, Shastric Brahmin. Those who are studying Tattva Bodha will, would have understood, because I have covered this portion already in Tattva Bodha. Shamaha basically means gaining mastery over one's mind. Not being a slave to the mind, but keeping the mind under our control, our management. We don't do things that mind asks us to do. Whether people will say, follow your heart. You can follow your heart provided the heart is capable of showing the right path. If your heart is showing path to all different places, then don't follow your heart. So all these things, because of total confusion is there in understanding our Shastra, so we take these things seriously. What the Westerners tell, we take seriously. What our Shastra say, we don't take that seriously. So Shama means basically having control over our mind, our thinking, our thoughts. Only allow those thoughts to enter our mind which we want to entertain. If I am in a spiritual path, I don't want to entertain any thought relating to non-spiritual subjects. I want only spiritual thoughts to enter my mind. When some non-spiritual thoughts try to enter my mind, I just ignore those thoughts. That is Shama. Damaha means gaining mastery over our external organs, all these 5 sense organs, and also our karmendriya and jnanendriyas. Gaining control, mastery over them. Just like the mind, we actually direct our organs to go where we want them to go. We don't go where the organs take us. If we see something which is not to be seen by a spiritual seeker, close your eyes. We should order the eyes to close. Don't see it. Just like that, wherever we go, if there is a strong stink in that area, we will close our nose automatically, right? Similarly, every other experience which is not oriented towards spirituality, we should take it as stinking experiences, either in terms of smell or in terms of sight or whatever it is. Avoid that. For that, what is the instrument? Mind is the instrument, because mind is the one which is dictating everything to go here and there. But even if the mind dictates something to go here and there, sometimes these organs, they will act on their own. A classic example is eating. Our stomach would be full, our mind will say enough, don't eat more, but our tongue, will not stop. Let me have one more rasagulla, one more laddu, or one more glass of payasam, kheer. This is, mind has already ordered, stop it, but this tongue, which is a taste organ, it wants more. Controlling over that is dhamma, to gain control over all our external organs. Many people have got this habit, nail biting. Many people, I've seen many people, and they know it is wrong. Mind will tell them, don't do that. Their parents would have told, maybe their spouse or will tell, don't do that. But they will continue to do it. Why? Not able to control that activity. No dhamma or no level of dhamma. So dhamma means controlling each and every such activity. That is dhamma. Right? Shaucham. Shaucham means what? Cleanliness. Purity in both internal cleanliness and external cleanliness. Taking bath, doing all this, and then doing meditation. All those all will come in internal cleanliness. So basically, directing, channelizing all these faculties towards the correct direction is what is there, right? Then tapaha. Okay, tapaha was I missed out. Spiritual discipline. Tapa is, in our Shastras described very, very elaborately. In this sloka itself, it will come. So I will explain it in that context later. Tapa. So Shaucham, I told you about cleanliness. Chantihi. Chantihi means forbearance, tolerance. Right? It also includes mercy, compassion, the quality of forgiveness, forgiving people. All these meanings we can take for this word Shaucha. Arjavam. Straightforwardness. Not having something in the mind and then speaking something else. Split personality, no. Honesty. Being honest in all the approach. Sincere. Whatever you do, be sincere in that. That is what is Arjava. Then Jnanam. Knowledge. Having the knowledge of all important areas relating to the life and living. One should have that knowledge. Then Astikyam. Astikyam means conviction in the teachings of the Shastras. That the Shastras are telling all these things not with some ulterior motive. Shastras are telling this only for my own benefit, for my own progress in the spiritual path. So I must have conviction in those teachings and follow. That is Astikyam. Having Pramanya Buddhi in the Shastras. Right? They are the only source of knowledge which can teach me all these things. There is nothing else can teach me. No other text, physics, chemistry and all cannot teach me about Punya Papa. Only Shastras can teach me about law of karma, Punya Papa and all. So as I rely on the physics textbook or chemistry textbooks or mathematics textbooks for gaining the knowledge of physics, chemistry and mathematics, I must have the conviction in the Shastras to gain the knowledge relating to all these matters related to life and living. Because physics, chemistry, mathematics are not going to help you in your life and living till you are going to live. They may help you till you are 60, you retire from your job or something like that. After 60, which physics, which chemistry is going to help you? Which mathematics is going to help you? They may only help you to the extent to earn some more money and lose it in the stock market. That's all. Okay. But if you want a real peaceful life, especially towards the last stage, last 25 years of your life, you want to live peacefully, happily, only Shastra can help you. All these things, this Pramanya Buddhi, you have to follow what the Shastra says, and that will ensure that you are Sarva Dukkadivo Bhavet. You can start swimming across the ocean of sorrows and cross over them. That's what it says. Okay. So this is the explanation of Brahmanaya Hitam. Quite an elaborate explanation. Third one he says is tapase hitam, beneficial to those who do tapas. Contemplate. As I told, tapas we will deal with it separately. So it is not enough that the Brahmins are protected, their tapas is also protected. So it is the Ishvara, through his blessings, he protects not only the Brahmanas, but he also protects his tapas. Right? And simple meaning of tapas is discipline. Right? Any field, discipline is a tapas. And it deals with three types of tapas. Sharira tapas, Vak tapas and Manasa tapas. Three types of tapas is talked about in the Shastras. And again, going back to Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Tapas chasmi tapas vishu. Among those who do tapas, I am in the form of that tapas only. This is what Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. And he gives a full definition of tapas in the 17th chapter. 3 slokas he says. Deva Dvija Guru Prajna Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharya Mahimsa Cha Shariram Tapa Uchyate. So first he defines what is a Sharira Tapas. Worshipping deities, Brahmanas, teachers, wise people, external cleanliness, straightforwardness, self-discipline, not physically hurting anybody, even mentally hurting anybody also. Mentally will come in Manasa Tapas. So physically hurting anybody will come in Sharira Tapas. First two. Then he says, Anudvegakaram Bhakyam Satyam Priyahitam Chayate Swadhyaya Bhyasanam Chaiva Vangmayam Tapa Uchyate. What is Vak Tapas? He says, Vak Tapas is speech, that speech which does not cause any agitation, which is true, speaking the truth, but speaking the truth without causing agitation. Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat. Whatever truth you want to say it in a pleasing manner. Not only pleasing manner, it should be beneficial to the other person also. Right? So that is, and daily repetition of one's own Vedas, Swadhyaya, whatever Shaka he belongs to, whatever he has learned, they are all collectively called Vang Tapaha, Vangmayam Tapaha, that is Vak Tapaha, speech tapas. Then Manas tapas. Third he says, Mana Prasada Saumyatvam Maunyamatma Vinigraha Bhavasam Shuddhirityetat Tapo Manasam Uchyate. Mental cheerfulness, always be happy. There is always something to be happy about in our life. You can just see. We think that our life is always having lot of sorrows, miseries. But if you actually introspect, you will find something in the day, in our life, to be happy about. Think of that and be happy about it. Be cheerful always. Cheerful in expression. And most importantly, the pressure many people face to talk should be avoided. Absence of pressure to talk is a manas tapas, because this pressure is coming out of agitation in the mind. So many things going on in the mind, we just want to get it out of through talking to people and chit chat, meaningless chit chatting, meaningless talks, not worth a dime. No punya will be earned by those talks, but we go on talking. Mastery over the mind, all we have seen, Shamo, Tapa and all that, clear intent. All these things are all collectively called Manasa Tapaha, mental discipline. So, in short, those who have got Sattva Guna, predominantly Sattva Guna I should say, follow a Vedic lifestyle, do the enjoying rituals, live a life of Dharma, contemplative disposition, all these are collectively called tapas. Because these are not easy to do. We have heard in our childhood somebody doing tapas means he will be standing on one leg, or he will be sitting, without moving for thousands of years and all that. What it implies is this tapas has a certain degree of difficulty to be followed. And people in the spiritual path having more sattva guna have the capability to bear that difficulty and then stick to these disciplines, right? And what he says is the Lord will protect such tapas and other people who are following this tapas also. So tapase hitam. And finally he said Brahmane Shrutaye hitam. Shruti means Vedas, right? We have already seen Brahma means one meaning is Vedas. But then what does the Ishvara does to Shruti? What good does he does? Basically, he protects the Vedas. We have seen it in Puranas, right? Bhagavatam, Matsya Avataram, Kurma Avataram. All that was taken for what? For protection of these Vedas, right? So Veda Uddhara is the one of the names of Mahavishnu, Vedodhara. It will come Vedodhara Namaha, right? So it is one of the names of Mahavishnu. Secondly, Ishvara makes the Shruti valid. Because whenever the Shruti is saying do this and you will get that, if you don't get it, then the Shruti will become invalid. And because the Shruti has been given out, the Vedas have been given out by Ishvara only, he has to ensure that they are valid. So some sadhanas, some karmas are given in the Vedas. Do this karma, Swarga kama yajeta, Putra kama yajeta. All these things are told in the Vedas. Do this Putra kameshti yagam, you will get Putra. Do this yagam for going to Swarga, you can go to Swarga, which is what that Trishanku did. He did that Swarga yagam, he was sent to Swarga. But the Swarga Devatas pushed him down because they didn't want competition there. One more Swarga being created. So that's why Vishwamitra's story is there. We have seen those stories in our childhood. Right? So, all these things will have validity only if Ishvara makes them happen. Otherwise, people will go on doing these yajnas and nothing will happen. Then they will lose faith in Vedas. So, when a person is performing a particular karma, the Lord, Ishvara as karma phala data, blesses the person with the result of that karma for which he is doing that karma. So this way also, Shrutaye hitam, he blesses the Shrutis, he makes the Shrutis valid. This is Brahmanya. The qualities of a Brahmana, the duties of a Brahmana towards society, all these things are included in that one word which is called Brahmanya. Just see, for just, I have not even read the Bhashya. I have only borrowed the meaning which Adi Shankara has given in the Bhashya. But for one word, we have taken one class, 1 hour. This is what happens. Otherwise, if you ask me what is the meaning of Brahmanya, I would not be able to tell you what is Brahmanya. I will have to refer to something only, and the best source I can refer to is the Bhashya. Isn't it? Or my guru's teachings who have actually taught me based on the Bhashya. That is all I can do. So let us see. So this is what is the Brahmanas, all the meaning of Brahmanya. And interestingly, Swami Omkaranda points out this word Brahmanyam. If you add the word Su before it, what it becomes? It becomes Subramanyam. Means what? Subramanyam is the name of Lord Muruga in the form of that Paramatma. So whenever you are taking the word Subramanyam, remember Vishnu Sahasranamam, the word Brahmanyam, bring all these meanings to your mind. And who is that Subramanyam? Is that Ishvara, that Paramatma. We have just taken that name and given to Lord Muruga. He is also, so Lord Muruga, not as Muruga, but Lord Muruga in his Saguna Rupa is Subramanya. That's how we have to understand Subramanya. When we say Subramanyaya Namaha, we are actually praying to or offering our salutations to Paramatma, Ishwara, Saguna Brahman is what we are offering our salutations. Not only to Lord Muruga is only the nimittam through whom we are going to the Ishwara. That is how we have to act. Right? The next word is Sarvadharmagyaha. Brahmanyam Sarvadharmanyam. Right? Sarvadharmagya means the one who knows all the dharmas. The word nya in Sanskrit means know. So the knower, right? Sarvan dharman janati iti sarva dharmagya hai. Tam sarva dharmagyam. So the person who knows all the dharmas, he is a sarva dharma. So he is all knowing, Ishvara is all knowing, so therefore he is sarva dharmagya. Samasta dharma veta. Also another word, right? He knows all the dharmas, what is Raja Dharma, Pitar Dharma, Purusha Dharma, Patni Dharma, then Pati Dharma, Putra Dharma, all dharmas Ishvara knows. He is never confused about what is right and wrong. Because dharmas all talk about what? Differentiation between right and wrong only. What is right is what dharma talks about. Right? He never has dharma sankata like what Arjuna had in the first chapter of Gita. Dharma sankata. He doesn't have no confusion about dharma. It's only for jivas all this confusion about dharma is there, not for Ishvara, the Lord. So, sarva dharmagyam stuvan sarva dukkadigo bhave. This is how we have to connect with the previous sloka. Kim stuvan sarva dharmagyam stuvan, by praising the glories of this one, the one who knows everything, who is all knowledge, knows everything about all dharmas. By praising his glories, you will cross over all the dukkhas. Right? Then third one is lokana. Lokana priti vardham. So the lokana word. Lokana means what? Adi Shankara says pranina, all living beings. Right? All living beings. That means those who breathe, those who have breath and those who breathe. All that living beings. But in our context, we can just restrict this meaning to human beings because all other animals are not concerned with Vishnu Sahasranamam. They don't do any stuvan. We don't know. Right? Actually, we have not experienced any animal doing any puja or any Vishnu Sahasranamam. Animals may join us. That's a different thing. This I have experienced myself. In Gurukulam, there used to be one dog, stray dog. In our Upanishad class, it will always come and sit. If we drive it out, it will come through the other door and come and sit in the Upanishad class. Not do anything, just sit and listen like all the other students. So we don't know what the samskaras that dog has got from his previous birth. And it will sit in the Upanishad class. So this we have seen, and we have seen many forwards also in WhatsApp, right? So this is lokana, means all pranina, all the jivas, all human beings. Then kirti vardhanam. And Adi Shankara says, kirtaya, he says yashamsi. The word he uses is yashamsi. Because kirti has two meanings. In English, if you translate, kirti could mean popularity also. The person who is very popular. That is also kirti, right? So the person who does this, his popularity will increase, can be one meaning. But today we know what all things are contributing to popularity of people. Most adharmic activity doing people also are very popular. So probably Adi Shankara foresaw that. So he doesn't take that meaning of popularity. He says fame. A positive thing, fame of a person. So the people who are doing all this, stotram, parayanam and all, their fame will grow. Kirti vardhanam. It will grow. Okay. So that's why he uses the word Yashamsi, praiseworthy glories. Yashamsi, Yashaha means praiseworthy glories, we can say. And these fames are not static, they are growing. The more and more and the Sattvika Guna you develop, the more and more you lead a life as per the scriptures, your fame will grow, more and more grow. It is not popularity. The fame is not known by how many people are attending your class, how many people are your followers. That is not fame, that is popularity. Fame is that after you die also, your names, your glory lives in this world. Like the glory of Veda Vyasa, today we remember. Rama, Krishna were born in different yugas. Their physical body is all gone, finished. But their glory lives after them. Even today, Rama's glories are, not only in India, but in all over the world, people are taking Rama's glories. That is the growth. And it keeps on growing. These glories keep on growing. Krishna's glories keep on growing rather. More and more people go to Bhagavatam classes for what? For listening to those Krishna's glories. So this is the Kirti Vardhanam, which keeps on growing even after one's death of the body. This fame will always remain. Your Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body and the causal body will take another body. Your physical body is gone, burnt or buried. But what will survive you is the fame. And who makes that happen? Ishvara makes that happen. Because if you have followed all these things, and we have seen it in Swami Dayananda Saraswati's life and all that, his fame, glory of Swami Dayananda Saraswati kept on growing only from the small hut where he was living in Rishikesh, where he reached when he left his body. So these are Mahatmas who are right in front of us, who have actually received the anugraha of Ishvara, and their fame has grown. Kirti has grown. These are all practical examples in our own life experience we can see. So this is Kirti Vardhanam. We will see more in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaskaram Guruji. Thank you very much.
I have a question, Raghuji.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Yes,
Namaste, Namaste Guruji. Namaste Guruji. Thank you.
This is Padma. I have a question. You chanted verse after the Shabda Brahmanyam. Do we have those verses, Raghuji, in a file?
Not in a file. They are part of my notes.
Oh, you're part of your, because I saw quite a lot of verses that you chanted.
Which one
some of the verses after. No, after Brahmanyam. I don't remember because there are 7 or 8 verses you chanted. So it's part of your notes, is it?
It's part of my notes. When I prepare notes for teaching you, and that's a problem I'm going to face, because I have made all my notes based upon the full Bhashya. Now I have to edit them.
Oh. That's okay. Because,
but
okay,
if you want the verse, wait, let me see. Brahmanyam, which of the verse I said?
5 or...
One second. Are you referring to this? Samo Damastapa Shaucham Shanti Rajam Evacha? Bhagavad Gita verses you are referring to?
No, I don't know what those verses are. All I know after... See, you did not chant any verses after Sarva Dharmagya, but Brahmanyam, you chanted quite a lot of verses. I mean, maybe 6 or 7, if I remember correct.
Well, I don't know. I chanted this, the quality, nature of the Brahmana. Who is a Brahmana? That is explained in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That I chanted.
Oh, I see. Okay.
18th chapter, 42nd sloka. Okay.
Oh, 18 for okay.
42. That you can note down. You can see Bhagavad Gita. That is the
Yeah.
Brahmana's nature, Swabhavajam, Brahmana Swabhavajam, Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Adi Bhagavan Krishna explains. That is one verse, right?
Okay.
Then the other verses which I actually quoted was that tapaha, when he was talking about tapas, the three types of tapas: Sharira tapas, Vang tapas, Vangmayam tapas, and Manasa tapas. There are three slokas in Bhagavad Gita. That is again the 17th chapter, sloka 14, 15, and 16.
Okay, 14, 15, and 16. That is the. Yeah, I have written it down. Yes.
I think this is what I quoted from Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. Yeah. So, thank you. Because that seemed familiar, but I wasn't.
The commentaries. These are not in the Bhashyam, but these are all Swami.
Yeah, I will refer. I'll go.
Omkaranandas and Swami.
Guruji, just one.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
Guruji,
wait,
one.
sir, wait. Let me finish, and you ask. And these are from. Okay, Swami Dayananda Saraswati's class Bhashyam. Is that what you're talking about,
It's
Raghuji?
Bhashyam, or it could be Omkarananda. When I actually am listening to their talks and all that, or reading the books, I take notes. So from that, I will make a note. Okay, Bhagavad Gita. This explain this through this sloka of Bhagavad Gita like that.
Okay, namaste. Thank you very much. Dhanyawad.
Hari Om. Any more question?
Yeah, Guruji, just one question.
Yeah.
In this Brahman, when you are talking about it, is it referring to any particular gender? Is it only a Brahman, feminine, a lady, or a gent? Is there any difference?
No, there is no difference. No gender difference.
No difference.
There is no gender difference. These are qualities for a Brahmana lady or a Brahmana. This thing. Only thing is, in the Shastras, when you come to Grihastha, there's a very elaborate kind of a thing, right? I mean, the duties of a Brahmana is given, right? So in that, there they have said that what are the duties of a husband, what are the duties of a wife. So there Pati Dharmas and Patni Dharmas are there, right? So they have to follow, not only that these things they have to follow those dharmas also which are prescribed in the Shastras. So there, this teaching, Veda Adhyayanam, the female have been, the ladies have been exempted from that. You know how the Shastra works. I mean, if you have got some little patience, in 2-3 minutes, I will explain.
Yes, please.
You see, this question comes up very often, why women do not have this thread ceremony, right?
Yes.
The gender business is very, very pronounced these days. The Shastra's scheme is like this. Shastra's scheme is that the boy, when he is 9 years or 11 years old, or even sometimes earlier 7 years, he undergoes the samskara, Upanayana samskara. And then he goes to the Gurukula and studies the Vedas. When he comes back, he gets married. Married to whom? A girl who is actually not reached the age of puberty. So she must also be 9 years or 11 years kind of a thing. He gets married. And if you observe the Vedic rituals which we perform in the marriage, for the girl, many of them are similar to the Upanayanam which we perform for the boy. Maunji Bandhanam, Ashmarohanam, all those things are there for the boy, for the girl. So in fact, the marriage of a girl according to the Shastra is 2 things it does. First is it does it her Upanayana. Now you may ask a question, the girl does not wear a thread. The girl wears the thread, but she gives the authority to the boy, the husband, to wear the thread on her behalf. So that is why in the marriage, the boys get one more additional thread of 3 strands.
Okay, right. Got it.
Understand? That is the delegation of authority by the girl to the man. So what is understood is whatever the man is doing, he is doing for himself and also on behalf of his spouse. She is exempted from doing all these things. She need not do all this Veda, Jnanam and all that. And all the phalam, the punya, whatever the man is going to get, 50% of that will go to this woman. That will get added to her punya account, punya karma. Because karma account is individual, separate. So the question is, this girl is not doing any karma, so how she will get punya? Shastra provides, says that whatever the husband does, because many karmas they are supposed to do jointly, right? Many karmas for a grihastha, he can't do it alone without the wife. That is a compulsory thing. Shraddha karmas is one important one. So many karmas are there. So when this happens, when the marriage happens, it is a twin ceremony. And actually speaking, what the girl does, if I tell it, you many female here will start shouting. In the Upanayanam, the brahmachari wears, gets the Brahmopadesha from the Guru and goes behind the Guru to the Gurukulam to study. He accepts that person as his Guru and for all learning. The lady does the same thing to her husband. In the marriage, she accepts him as her Guru, that for all matters relating to my life, my living, everything, you please guide me, because you have gone to the Gurukulam and learned all these things. I will follow you. It is not a relationship of superior subordinate. It is a relationship of Guru and Shishya. All these subtle elements, nobody understands these days. If you understand all that, your whole marital life, the meaning that you have given to your whole marital life will be totally different. Married life is not for progeny. Progeny is incidental to married life. Today, that has become the main thing. Hey, Kalyanam Monday, you give me grandchildren. This is what parents tell. They never tell the children, get married and lead a dharmic life. Do all that you are required to do as per the dharma. No parent tells that. Everybody is interested only in all these activities which will give childbirth. I want a grandson, I want a granddaughter, this kind of a thing. But our system, the Vedic system, is so nicely structured that the marriage also is for purposes of two people from two different sexes coming together for upholding the dharma, for actually taking care of this entire society. And that has been designed in such a way, keeping the individual nature in mind. A woman by nature is very compassionate, loving. You can't find that nature in man. That is the natural. She can't but be compassionate, a woman. That is why taking care of the child responsibility has been given to the woman. Child requires that. If you give a child to a man, he will make a mess of it. Child may not survive after 1 month if a man looks after the child. Not these days. These days, women have trained the men also for that. That's a different thing. But what I'm saying is, the duties also, the dharmas have also been distributed in such a way, keeping the natural, instinctual, nature of the sexes in mind. This, another very important aspect we have to note is this grihastha ashrama had the responsibility to take care of the other three ashramas, that is brahmacharya ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama and sannyasa ashrama. Take care means what? Provide food to all of these people. They will come for bhiksha, so the money has been, the food has to be given. And they are not going to ask the man of the house for bhiksha. Bhavati bhikshan dehi. Bhavati, they are going to ask. The woman should have that charitable disposition to give food, everything that is being asked with love, affection, without treating that fellow as, oh, that fellow has come, a beggar, that attitude should not be there. And in fact, this was the attitude which led Sita into trouble. Ravana, encashed this attitude. He knows that Sita will be so compassionate. If I ask her to come out of the line and give me the bhiksha, she will do it. And that is how he took advantage of that. So what I'm trying to tell you is that women are not barred. But the system of getting that done is, we have to understand what is the structure in place for that. But again, having said that, women were not precluded from learning Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita. That is the Vedanta. Women were free. In fact, when we read the Upanishads and all, we see so many women scholars there, Maitreyi, and so many names are there, but I'm not.
Gargi.
Huh?
Gargi.
Gargi, Maitreyi, all were Yajnavalkya's. One is a wife and another is Yajnavalkya's debate, who had a debate with Yajnavalkya. So women are there. I mean, they have been, at very high knowledge positions, and they are not precluded from that. Only they are precluded from this Veda Purva Bhaga related activities, which activities has been delegated to the men folk. On behalf of women, they can do all those things and the benefit will go to the women also. That is how the system of structure of our Vedic culture is.
Thank you very much. Very well explained. Very well explained, sir. Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Raghuji, can I ask one thing?
Yes.
In some houses, the men may not be very keen to do all the rituals and Veda. So what should one do? Because it may be that, the woman may want to do it. So can the woman
force
do
the
it
men to
instead?
do it. Don't give him food. If he doesn't do Sandhya Vandanam, no coffee in the morning. No, but that apart, you see, for practicing or for performing all these rituals, training is required.
Yeah.
Training you can get only in the Gurukulam. Unless you train yourself to do at least minimum karmas. For doing Sandhya Vandana karmas, I don't think any training is required. It is just laziness and refusal to do it. That's all, right? One can have an excuse of not doing it till one's employed. Once having retired, people have got ample time, especially men folk. They should actually have that inclination to do 3 times Sandhya Vandanam, do some puja in the morning. These are all ways you can develop Sattva Guna. This is how you can do it. Sattva Guna need not necessarily be developed when you are, in your school or in college. You can develop Sattva Guna even after you retire. So this is one. Other thing is, women, in terms of what they can do Vishnu Sahasranamam Parayanam, they can do Lalita Sahasranamam Parayanam, they can do Archana of all these things. All these things, Vishnu Sahasranamam we are seeing, Stuvan, Archan, all those things, a woman can also do. They don't need to undergo any training in any Gurukulam and then Vedic, because when you do Vedic rituals, you have to follow the rules very strictly.
Correct.
When you do these things, you don't need to follow anything. You can just anywhere, even lying down on your bed, you can do Vishnu Sahasranamam Parayanam.
Yes, that is true. Yeah.
So it is much more easier for women who are really inclined to do this. So many Adi Shankara has given treasure full of things. Abhirami, everything, all Advaita Vedanta only. So you can chant all those things, learn all those things. Saundarya Lahari, beautiful, lovely thing. It actually poetic, it transforms you to another world. So poetic, Saundarya Lahari. These are all there.
So it doesn't necessarily mean just the men have to do. We can also do it for the benefit of the, because when you said that half the man has to be delegated.
Remember one thing, the structure of the Vedas, and this I did not mention earlier. I told you that whatever all dharma karyams men do, 50% of that goes to the woman. Correct?
Yeah.
There are corollaries to that. Whatever papa karmas men do, they remain with them account only. That is not shared with the women.
Okay.
Number one, corollary. Number two, whatever punya karmas or dharma karmas women do, they retain the benefit of that 100% with themselves. They don't share it with the husband. Whatever papa
Okay.
karmas the women do, they share it 50% with the husband. This is the structure of the Shastra. Now you
Okay,
get to.
okay. I didn't know that.
Huh?
Yeah.
So if you are doing wrong things, it is the responsibility of your husband to stop you from doing wrong things. Because he is going to get 50% of the papas for that.
Correct, correct. Okay.
Whereas if he is not doing the right things, you are a loser because you are losing 50% of the punyam that he can get through that. So it is so very well structured that each will be acting as a check for the other. It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
When you go into detail to Shastra, in fact, you know, Swami Paramatmananda, there are talks on samskaras, 41 samskaras, he talks on this.
Yeah, yeah. I think I have heard some of his talks, Paramatmananda's.
So,
Yeah.
at some stage, I want to actually talk about those samskaras also, but let us see. I mean, there are so many things that we can talk about. But
yeah, one lifetime is not enough for all this.
one lifetime is not enough. Absolutely no. Not enough at all. But then my attitude is I don't want another lifetime.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. We have to finish everything now.
Finish everything.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Any
Guruji.
more questions?
Guruji, I have an extended question.
Yeah.
This is regarding Brahman. So the women who were dependent upon husbands to do the puja or samskara and do Vedic whatever is there to attain Brahman or understand the Brahman. How the ladies will attain Brahman?
Puja, samskara, the samskaras, all these things,
depend
where the
upon
Purva Bhaga is not for understanding Brahman.
correct.
They are only for
Understanding
karma
means
yoga,
you are
Chitta
Brahman.
Huh? Sorry?
Not understanding that she is also a Brahman. How she will get that knowledge? If she is going to depend upon her husband to do all the pujas or samskaras.
Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. We have discussed that in Tattva Bodha, right? That has nothing to do with Vedic rituals. Become qualified for Vedanta knowledge by developing sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti and pursue from Tattva Bodha right up to Brahma Sutra. She can study. That doesn't require any Vedic knowledge or any karma, doing any karmas or anything. It's pure knowledge, Jnana Kanda. So what is the problem? He can do.
No, in this age only people have started teaching about the Brahman, how it is attained, what is Brahman and all those things. And earlier age, earlier age, who used to teach them that you are also a Brahman? Is it the husband's duty to teach them that you are a Brahman?
See, as I told you, the husband is the guru of the wife. Correct? Did I tell you that?
Yes.
Okay.
When he is the guru, he can teach that. This is what Vedanta says. If you are interested, I will teach you Vedanta. If he himself is, he has learned Vedanta, Upanishads and all, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, he can teach to his wife. What is the problem? She can learn from him. For that, she need not do Sandhya Vandanam to learn these things. Isn't it? So this knowledge is not restricted to anybody. Anybody can get this knowledge. So many sannyasins are there who have got sannyasa from Swami Dayananda Saraswati. They have all come to Gurukulam and learned this Upanishads and all. In Gurukulam, in Harshavidya Gurukulam, they don't teach Vedic mantras. They only teach Jnana Kanda. Right? And so many students have actually successfully completed that. They are teaching now. They are teachers, they are gurus now. So many are there. So there is nothing about, we should not get confused. We cannot mix up Veda Purva Bhaga with Veda Uttara Bhaga, with Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. We must not mix up. Our thinking must be very clear. What is this? What is the purpose of this? And what is this? And what is the purpose of this? And who are eligible for this? And who are eligible for this? That thinking has to be very clear. Understanding has to be very, very clear in our So women are not precluded from Aham Brahmasmi Jnanam or Tattvamasi Jnanam. They can get that Jnanam, provided they have the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. They are got that qualification which I talked about in Tattva. They have that qualification for that. If they have it, they will automatically get it. Isn't it? And many people who have, many women who have the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti don't get married. Because I've seen that in my class itself in the Gurukulam. Many of them, they don't get into all this grihasthashrama. Straight away, they will come to Gurukulam, learn all these things, become teachers or pursue this spiritual path. All coming from Purva Janma Samskaras, basically. That is how it is. Any more questions?
Okay, Hari Om. Namaskaram, Mama.
Okay, Namaskaram. Hari Om.
Namaskaram. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
Guruji.
much.
Thank you, Guruji.
We'll see you next Sunday.
Namaskaram.
Take care. Hari Om.